On the occasion of the first maiden meeting of the outfit in Don Rose, Ughelli, on the 10th of October 2020. Board of Directors here present, SSA Head of Delta Office, Deputy President of the Senate, citizen heads and co-heads of different directorates here present, citizen heads of NGAs, citizen heads of women mobilizations and program here present, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning to you all. I am happy for your shows of solidarity and cooperation during the process of landscaping, profiling, and screening of a workable team as a workforce to drive the activities of citizenship opportunity and professionals work for Agede 2023. It will surprise you to note that the processes that produce this team are the eggheads of this project did not come with ease, but with a lot of difficulties in order to get the best to handle each department. As leaders, saddled with different responsibilities, you have a lot of sacrifices to make. You are a servant to all. You must have a heart to serve because others are looking up to you for leadership. You must have a heart to serve because others are looking for you for leadership. You will be criticized, so you must develop a thick skin to withstand and survive the brunt of their criticism. This is a leadership meeting, and everything we are doing is about leadership and how to make you strong. You must develop the powers of forgiving and forgetting when you hear your followers criticize you and say all bad of things against you. If you stop doing, followers don't recognize your work. If you stop doing good because your followers don't recognize your work, the project will suffer. If you see your followers making mistakes, call to advice. Don't allow him or herself to learn from bad experience. There will always be a pull him down syndrome from followers or even ordinary members of this great party, ABC. The cause of this project for Agede 2023, the focus for our utmost goals is victory, not the side talks. Always recognize the hard works of your followers and encourage and even recommend them for a higher responsibility. A genuine leader should not desire the downfall of his followers who are better than him. If you close the doors of your subordinates because you are afraid they will be far better than you, then you have failed as a leader. Don't forget, every leader must produce his or her kind. As a leader, you must feed on knowledge. Use others people's opinion, good opinion, to make yourself a champion. Don't stagnate your subordinate and or yourself so that the project will have a boost, with the end result shall be overwhelming success. Always be from your mistake because you listen to them. In your directorate, local government areas, senatorial districts, wards, at your community structure, do not watch them grow in darkness, when you can guide them as light for the project to succeed and never hide information from them. When the content is developed and open, it must go down the line of duty for the betterment of Agege 2023. We must win. There is no room for excuses or failure. You must be a leader for the attainment of our collective goals. Agege 2023. As a leader, you must have a heart of a mother. When the child is sick, the mother runs helter-skelter. In this case, our child is Agege 2023. We must not allow her to be sick so that we won't run helter-skelter. That is why we are starting early. Life is balanced. It is only those who do not stand well that we say life is not balanced. Taking this project this early means we want to be balanced always. Even as we face adversity in preparations for congresses, primaries, and even for the main election itself. Come 2023, life will always be balanced for us in APC, in citizenship, audacity, and professional work for Agege 2023. We must always be focused and be determined to win as we market our good products. Distinguished Senator Obioma Agege, DSP, we stand with him in victory. As leaders, we must not allow our personal greed to override the overall interest of our party. We should dream the project, think the project, internalize the project, and make the project a baby, our baby, because you can't hurt your baby. We hold the votes, we have the members, so we can't be intimidated. Citizens stands for unity because we care for the voiceless. We think about others and the need for a better society. We have the loving heart. We don't hate but love everybody. As leaders, you must widen your spheres of influence so that our web can catch more citizens to the fold of citizenship, audacities, and professional work for Agege 2023. You might be wondering if you are just a mere follower of citizenship, audacity, and professional work for Agege 2023, but you are wrong. You are a leader in your respective capacity and levels. Wherever you are placed to watch over people, please be a good leader. Bring honor to this outfit. Let people see you as a role model. Being a leader is a privilege. Don't misuse it. Never should you take undue advantage of your subordinate. You are a leader to nurture great minds who are looking for good governance into fulfilling destinies in life. Citizenship and professional consultancy services stand as a marketing outfit to oppose strategies and content aimed at winning elections for our principal. Our content will come as a political war Bible, which cannot be unfolded immediately until the circulation time. The 24 content in the political war Bible shall be unveiled in bits in due course. As marketers, we must establish our presence at the community level, where citizens reside and dwell. Our product, Agege 2023, must at all times be well branded by us, the leader and our followers. Feedback received from the field must be articulated and better product showcased to the world. We are fully prepared, but as the head that will always represent you well, our leader is a listening leader and shall always do the needful when faced with our challenges. We have his ears, I can assure you that. Our target before the inauguration of 19th December 2020 is about 42 to 45,000 officers to the community level. Our officers already has surpasses The numbers, if I mention here, you will be marveling. At this point, I am proud and privileged to address you as fellow citizens. Happy deliberation. Thank you.
Put your hands together for our chairman. If you are clapping for my chairman, you can't clap like this. Please jam your hands together. Oh my God. Mr. Chairman, that is a wonderful speech. And we have heard citizen audacity is a project and it's a process to the end. And what we are targeting is 2023. Let me break all the grammar down. All this web where they talk, whether na net, whether na keke na pepper. Let me break it down. Citizen is for aggregate project come 2023. Clap for yourselves. So that let us know the direction we are going. And the chairman made one speech. He said, all of us are leaders of our right. So I'm the same as you, you are the same as me. Correct me when I'm wrong, when I'm right, put me well and encourage me. Having said that, I want to introduce somebody that just arrived, a very important personality. Is the man, the face of Deputy President of the Senate here in the state. Is no other person than Honorable Eruri Chuks, SSC to the Deputy President of the Senate. Keep clapping now. Clap, if you get essay, that's good to
Thank you. I'm glad to be here. I'm not very advanced yet with the meetings of a good person. And to say, citizens,
we are professionals.
Citizens, we are professionals
because we hold the vote.
Thank you.
Please put your hands
Computer
together. It's on.
No, okay. Okay. I'll try. It's on.
Yeah.
Checking it, Adamokiao. No, to fail. Ndike ajaje ni o. Uruwana. Anima kwenu. Kwenu. Thank you. This is go watch it. If that class also like my land is still by yeah.
Thank you very much. You guys together. That is lovely. That is lovely. We don't want to waste our time. The SSA to the Deputy President of the Senate, you are going to stand up here and give us and tell us what our dad said they should tell us. We want to hear from you. We are hungry to hear from you. Thank you very much.
Citizens, we are professionals. First, let me thank the leadership of this group for the excellent work they have done. I'm aware that in about 5 months or thereabout or more, I've been doing a lot of consultation, and I've been doing what I would call leadership and effective citizens recruitment. When I came in here and saw this mammoth crowd, one thing that came to my mind was that this must be very unique people. I said that because I know that there were times where I had to even recommend some people to Prince Ipama. And after his engagement with those people, he told me, I cannot work with this one, I cannot work with this one is not committed enough, this one is not serious. And I said, Oga, use your discretion, because he who pays the piper pays the tune. And that goes to show the seriousness they have attached to the selection of the people who are gathered in this hall. And I know as a matter of fact that because you are here, that you are a leader by excellence, as a matter of right, as an individual first, and a leader to be reckoned with in your community and in your local government. So let me now stand on all existing protocols and to say that I am glad to be here today. It is indeed a pleasure and privilege to be here seated. Let me acknowledge that the name of this group is unique and very significant. In every society, it is the citizens. The office of the citizen is the most important office you can think about, because it is the citizens that will decide who will be what at any point in time. It is only because in Nigeria, and especially in our part of this country, the citizens seem to have sold out their rights, and therefore the people that should serve you were not turning around to serve them. What we have in our democratic system is not rulership, it is leadership. Leadership means accepting responsibility to do what you are assigned to do. And if that person that you have assigned the responsibility is refusing to do what he's supposed to do, the responsibility is on the citizens to say, we don't want you anymore. But unfortunately, we have used primordial sentiment, and of course, let me use the words, sleeping on our right. In the process, we have now considered power to the people who should ordinarily be our messengers. That is why, for me, the name of this group is very, very significant. If only we can just let our citizens know the enormity of the power that they hold, the power that the citizens hold in bringing about the type of society they want. If only we know that there is what they call community charter of demand. For example, that in your community, everybody can meet in the village square or town hall or gua or palace or whatever, and decide what is it that is the need of the people. Indeed, government is not supposed to develop budgets without first carrying out community need assessment. The people that live in the community know what is most important to them. Therefore, before every budget cycle, citizens are supposed to sit down and ask themselves, what is most important to us at this point? What is the most pressing need that we have in our community? They are supposed to articulate it, put it together, and then you invite the councillor representing you, invite the local government chairman, invite the House of Assembly member representing you, the House of Rep member, the senator representing you, and of course the governor, and say these are our irreducible demand for this budget cycle. It is all of those demands that they are supposed to put together in the budget. But when was the last time you attended a meeting where a community need assessment was being done? We are also supposed to know as citizens that there is something called community scorecards, where at the end of every budget cycle, citizens in the community are supposed to sit down again and say these were the demands that we placed before our duty bearers. Let us now score them on the basis of what has been done and what has not been done, and use that as a basis to further engage the person to say you have failed, and because you have failed, please don't come back again to ask for our support. But unfortunately, we are in the part of the world where the criteria we use in the selection of our leaders is so funny. It is so disappointing. More often than not, the fact that someone is from a tribe is just enough reason. Whether the person is a goat or not doesn't matter. Whether the person is a performer or a failure, it doesn't matter. What matters to us is that now our person. But let me tell you something. Senator Ifeanyi Okowa is from Owa-Alero. Sir, the people who were poor in Owa-Alero before Okowa became governor, they are still poor now. They will remain poor even when they lose office. It was Chief Obafemi Awolowo who said that the height any society can attain is dependent on the quality of the leadership. But Lee Kuan Yew, the Prime Minister of Singapore, that transformed Singapore from third world to first world, told us that only good citizens can make good leaders. Because it is from among us that they recruit the leaders. It is even us that recruit the leaders. If the Owa-Alero people will sit down and say this is what we need and engage the man that is there now, I'm sure that most of their conditions will change. That is why this group is critical. We must build this group in a manner that it will not just end in 2023 election. It has to be a group that should outlive us, a group that will be pioneering the effort to bring transformation in our society, pioneering the struggle to ensure that only credible people take the baton of leadership at every level in our society. So, I am not to give a lecture, it's just to give a talk. So I'm giving a lecture, so let me try to now give a talk. So first, to say that as members of this political family, I am sure that for you to have been a member of the citizens group, you are first a member of the All Progressive Congress. Am I correct? Yes. Good. You and I know that our party, the APC, has suffered untold internal crisis that has lasted for so many years. A lot of effort has been made, both by the presidency, the national leadership of the party even at the state here, to bring about peace. But these efforts have not yielded the needed results. But let me tell you this today, sir, and mass, that with the face of the people that I'm seeing here, if all of us are united in saying that the APC must make progress, that we must move forward, I can tell you that the APC must move forward. The strength of every leader you see is dependent on the strength of the followers that they have. Most of these problems that we have within the APC, it is not between me and you. It is just strictly between very few persons who God has placed in leadership position. And it is time for us, as their followers, to meet with them at the level of your influence, the one you can meet. Let them know that we are tired already of the quarrels within the APC. That we need peace, and that the reason why we join this political party is for us to use it as a vehicle to win election into the government house Asaba, to win election in the 3 senatorial districts for the senatorial election, to win election in the 10 House of Rep election into the federal House of Rep. to win election into the 29 seats in the Delta State House of Assembly, of course in the local chairman of councils and councillors. We cannot achieve that objective if the crisis, the internal bickering between the party, the leaders of the party continue. You and I know that in the last election, the factors that made APC lose in many places were not because the PDP in those areas were stronger. It was because of the internal division between and among us that are members of the APC. In fact, in Uganda North, where you are seated now, it even came to a point where APC leaders were giving as much as 1.6 million to individuals to go and deliver their word for the PDP. That is the height of political witchcraft. But let me tell you this, and I say this without fear of contradiction, that you see all of the leaders that are saying, let us divide, let us scatter, let us scatter, let us scatter, they are already comfortable. They don't need the patronage from government to survive. You and I need the patronage from government to survive. So we must say enough is enough to the division within the party. Most of them, their children are comfortable. They have already laid a foundation that is strong enough for their children to feed till the 10th generation. Yes. But you and I don't have that foundation. No. Our children attend these poor, rickety schools. If you are sick, it is these poor hospitals that you go to. We cannot build the type of Delta State that we need if we are not in government house as happy. The only way we can achieve that objective is for them to swallow their pride, their individual ego, and their selfish interest, and allow our collective dream to fly. Because I know, as a matter of fact, let me tell you something, sir, that for change to happen in every society, we are told that there are two conditions. One is the subjective condition, the other one is the objective condition. The objective condition talks about the presence of situations in your society that get you angry enough to say enough is enough. And I don't know where you came from this morning, but if you came from many parts of Delta State, I'm sure that the road you passed through may have told you that there is every reason why there must be change in Delta State. All right. The school in your community may have told you that there is need for change. In fact, governance is all about people. I don't know how much the government of Delta State in the last 20 years have touched your own individual life. But if it is not touching your life, then there is something that must give way. Delta State today, in fact, for a very long time, has been collecting the highest revenue from the federal government. The internally generated revenue that we collect from Delta State is higher than the federal allocation to several states in Nigeria. In fact, Edo State, what they collect from the federal government is not up to what we generate internally. What we generate internally in 1 month is more than what Gombe State collects in 10 months from the federal government. And I then ask this question, where are these monies going to? Share the pocket. Share the money. Can we truly continue like this? Allow things to waste in a society where only a few days back in Uganda, youths who should be deploying their energy in productive ventures were protesting that SARS must go, that they should allow Yahoo to continue. Go on. Right on. Go on. I'm playing with you. And I can tell you this, there is nobody who is gainfully employed that will get involved in Yahoo. There is nobody that is gainfully employed that will be involved in kidnapping. There is nobody that is gainfully employed that will be involved in armed robbery. You cannot go to work in shed, close turn back, and be planning to go and kidnap anybody. Because you don't even have the time to keep the person. Why do we have a state where there is no single industry that is functioning? Even the state industries that were present before the advent of this democracy, all of them are dead. Look at the Asaba Desert Mill. It's owned by the state. They can have left it to rot away. The ones that were dead in Kano before, they are already working now. Most of the clothes we are putting on now, they produce them in Kano. Look at AT&T in Sapele. They have sold it to themselves. The estate, everything. Look at Eternit. Only yesterday, two years ago, they allowed the company to pull out of Sapele and they took it to Enugu. Why? Delta State is supposed to pay 10%. But Delta State is a partnership. Delta State is supposed to pay 10% of the equity contribution, which is not up to 500 million. The state refused to pay, and the company pulled out. All of their staff, contractors, all the people, suppliers, everybody was now put out of job. The Bethesda structures in NRA is dead and gone. Look at the Bender glass, is dead and gone. The list is on and on. What we used to know is that any government that desires to develop the state is supposed to bring deliberate plan to help industries to thrive. Let me tell you this, Intels, if you have a laptop or you have a phone in your hand now that can do email, that phone has a microchip produced by Intels. If you use laptop, your laptop have a microchip produced by Intels. Ladies and gentlemen, Intels is based in Israel. The government of Israel paid that company, Intels, over $1 billion to come and establish their plant in Israel. That is why Israel says they control the world, because the instrument that controls everything about communication is in their domain. BMW car, if you have driven that car or you have seen that car before, the government of Germany paid money to that company to come and establish their plant there. If you go around Uganda now, even though it is cold, you will see many young men sitting down and drinking beer. Just a few miles away from here, we used to have sparkling beer breweries. We have Olo breweries where they produce sparkling beer. In Agbaroto behind me here, we have Super Brew where they produce stock. Is it not possible for the Delta State government to engage in Nigerian breweries or Guinness and say, we will give you 1 billion, come and set up your plant here? If Guinness, if you have a factory of Guinness in Delta State, we will not be able to employ 5,000 youths. Yes. If you employ 5,000, assuming they are men and women, and the men inside marry their wives, and the wives, the girls, ladies inside marry men, is that not 10,000 already? Yes. And they have children. Yes. Are we not taking care of people? Yes. You have Coca-Cola in Benin City. Why do we not have the Coca-Cola plants in Delta State? Between Uvele and Asaba, as you go beyond a little after Kuala, you see vast land on the right and the left side. Do we not have land to give to Coca-Cola to establish their plant, and even give them 1 billion and say, come and do it here, knowing that when they come, they will employ not less than 5,000 people. You will have a lot of distributors. You will have a lot of suppliers. You will have people who have trailers that can provide services to the company. You will have people who will supply bottles. You will have people who will supply crates. Even ordinary pallets, people will supply them. Is that not how to develop a society? Yes. So, ladies and gentlemen, what you are into is a very serious business. Yes. Unless you are not convinced that what you are into is serious, and then you begin to look at immediate yes, and then you also be thinking of, you may even be here now as a member and you are sending text message of what is happening here to people. Say, can you imagine this is what is happening? Or you are even videoing or recording the voice so that you can take it to people and say they were insulting you in that place. It doesn't matter. What I can tell you is this: whatever you sow is what you reap. The society that we are in Delta State today is a product of what very many of us sowed yesterday. In the last election, there were so many communities where people were still collecting 1,000 to sell their vote. If only they know that that 1,000 is for 4 years, they will not sell it. So I want to plead with all of us here that if you think that some people are going to come from Lagos State or Sokoto State to come and develop Delta State, you are a liar. It is you and I that will take that resolve to say we must take our state back. And I asked this question when Professor Sibanjo came just before the gubernatorial election. For those of you who are from the oil producing areas, when was the last time you saw a Desopade project in your community? But yet, the law setting of Desopade told us that 50% of the 13% derivation will go to Desopade every month for the development of the communities. Now, if 50% of over 10 billion is going to Desopade every month, and there are no projects in your community, where is the money going